Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? I would like to. I've been wanting to make videos for a really long time, and I have made a few. I have made a few videos, and I've posted a few videos, and they've been different. They've been making videos and posting them was different than I thought it was going to be. But it was still fun to make them. I would say that I enjoy consuming videos much more than I enjoy making them, probably because I want to have 1 billion subscribers, and I want them all to be in love with me, of course, which I don't have 1 billion subscribers, and none of my non-existent subscribers are in love with me. One of the topics I would like to discuss right now, and I think I'm gonna label this video Day 1. I would like to label this video Day 1 because it feels like a Day 1. It feels like a Day 1. Every single day is Day 1 if you want it to be. And I would like today to be Day 1. Okay, so today I was watching a video by this guy named Leo. I don't know what his last name is. I haven't figured that out yet. I actually saw his last name, but I promptly forgot it. But names are sort of irrelevant anyway. But his name is Leo, and I was watching a few of his videos today, and one of the things that struck me one of the topics he was discussing was, two things. One, meditation, okay? I've been fascinated by this thing called meditation for a long time, and I've even tried it. I've tried it myself. I've sat on my ass in the park, not moving for, I don't know how long, probably half an hour. I don't know if I've ever made it much past half an hour. I have sat down. I distinctly remember one time sitting down at my park, and I wasn't moving. This was very early morning. It was sort of a continuation of a drunken sort of a night, and I think I was causing some sort of trouble because I was feeling guilty, and I somehow imagined that meditating was going to purge me or something, and so I'm still kind of carrying this buzz, and I get to the park, and this is really early morning, right? This is super early morning. It's the sun is barely up, and so I'm sitting down, and while I'm sitting down, that's all I'm doing. I'm not moving a muscle. I'm just sitting, and I'm thinking about all the things you're supposed to think about, such as not thinking while you're meditating, and let the thoughts pass by like clouds, and just be aware of their presence, and don't attach yourself to them, and sensations, let them come and go, sounds, don't attach to any of them, stay in the moment. That's all. That's the advice you get for the most part when you're trying to meditate. So I'm doing this. I'm staying in the moment pretty good, and being kind of tired and buzzed from the night before, I think helped somehow. Because that's usually why I drink anyways, to try to quiet my mind. So it's kind of a forced meditation. It's So I'm sitting there with my back up against this fence. It's at a skate park, so there would normally be the sounds of people skating behind me, but this was too early. All these kids are sleeping, they're all stoned and drunk too, and passed out. They're not going to get there till 2 o'clock p.m. was like, this is gonna be messed up somehow. This is gonna get disturbed somehow, and I'm not gonna be happy about that. And sure enough, this old guy comes by with his little dog, and he walks right in front of me. And I'm not holding any lotus position, or I'm not holding any sort of typical yoga position. I'm not even sitting cross-legged. I don't think. I think I'm just sitting really still. And I didn't make eye contact with him. I didn't have my eyes closed. I just didn't acknowledge him whatsoever. And he kind of walked by in front of me, and he kind of like stopped and looked at me, like he was trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. And I still didn't look at him. And he said good morning, or he said something like that. He said something to me, and I just completely ignored him. I completely ignored him. I've never done that to anybody before. Well, I've done that, but this situation was a little bit different, because, and it wasn't pure, as in, it was a mean thing, it wasn't like, I don't know how to describe it. In my head, I wanted it to be like, the meditating person and the guy sitting there talking are part of the same scene, and there's nothing else involved. There's no emotions, or there's no trauma caused in any way, shape, or form. But I think, I think he got his feelings hurt because I didn't say anything. I was clearly aware. I wasn't in zombie state or anything. But I just ignored him. And he sat there and looked at me for a few seconds. And then he kind of just shrugged his shoulders, and he's like, okay. And he just kept on walking. And I kept on meditating. It was a very funny situation. I've had a few funny situations with meditating. Yeah. People say it's healthy, and I think it is healthy, because our minds beat the shit out of us all the time, especially mine. I like to think I'm more neurotic than normal people. Normies. Get it from my mother. And it's coming out more so now that I have more responsibilities, and problems seem to be bigger now. I don't know why. But I do know that meditating helps a lot, because that little voice that's always constantly worrying and nagging, it kind of stops. If you're concentrating on your five senses, if you're concentrating on your immediate scene, your scene, it's all around you. If you're actually concentrating on that, like right now, I'm in a sense not meditating, because I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking as I'm speaking to you. If I was meditating correctly, then, and it's possible, I can be talking to you and feeling this as an observer rather than an active participant. I can feel the whole scene as an observer, and the body and the car and the thoughts and all that are all part of the observed scene. It's just a matter of how far in or out the perspective is. It goes in and out, But yeah, in all the self-help things I've looked at, I've come to a sort of a realization. Well, I knew this the whole time. I always knew this, but it's the knowledge is virtually meaningless. You can read as many things as you want about a certain subject, and you can become book smart. It's I would say not only is it nearly useless, but it can be actively detrimental to your cause, especially if you're doing something such as trying to heal yourself, which is what meditation is. It's not about achieving enlightenment in that sense. It's not about achieving something grand. It's about dropping off of the bags of shit you have stuck to you. You know, you're stuck with so much luggage. You're picking up all this luggage as you go through life. If you're meditating the whole time, then nothing would have stuck ever. You know, because the moment is only so long. It's like, if you were to measure it, the relevant moment is only like 5 seconds or something like that. It's not long. And this is just obvious. Anybody can see it. And yet, as much as you talk about it, you don't reside in the moment very often. You reside in the future, which they say, and I know, is just projected past. They're both imaginary, but the future is even more imaginary. But the future is more free because it hasn't been filled with shit yet. So your imaginary future is more free than your imaginary past. But they're both kind of worthless to be dwelling on all the time. But the ironic thing is the way we use meditation is that we use meditation to better our future, even though the whole goal of meditation is to drop the future. You know, it's like it's an ironic little twist. But you know, the mind likes playing little games, and it's just gonna keep playing the game. So you can just be happy about it. You know, you don't need to be all sad about that. I do think it's funny though. It's the mind is the sneakiest thing. The mind is really the only sneaky thing. I haven't seen anything else that's sneaky or conniving or likes to lie or likes to embellish. You know, I've never seen it. Everything else is absolutely straightforward. You know, your light bulb just gives out light, and then if it breaks, it doesn't give out light. You know, the weather comes and goes, follows certain patterns. Animals generally act exactly the same way all the time. But humans, and what makes humans interesting is that they're lying assholes. You know, I don't know if everybody was peaceful, then probably everybody would be really bored. And you know, then who knows what would happen. I don't know. But anyway, so I would like to title this. I would like to have somewhere in the title the number 1, and I want to make consecutive videos. And I don't want to set myself to pledge that I'm going to upload a certain amount of videos in a certain amount of days or within a specific time frame, or else, because threatening myself just doesn't work. I just won't do it because I'm just a fucking rebellious asshat for the most part, and not only am I rebellious at large, in general, I'm rebellious. I don't like being on any bandwagons whatsoever, including my fucking own bandwagon. So if I come up with a plan, then the other half of my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde just, you know, he's like, fuck that. You know, it's ridiculous. So living inside of my head with all these things, you know, this disjointed, this fragmented nonsense that's just going on all the time. It's been interesting, to say the least, annoying, sometimes very angering, not only to myself but to others, especially my wife. I'm sure other people. But that has been, what's the word? Made worse by drinking. Which brings me to the other portion of this video, which is what's going on in my life, aside from theorizing about everything, and aside from philosophizing and mental nonsense, which is where I prefer to reside. What is going in my life? Why am I in a car right now? Well, I'm in a car because I'm going to San Francisco to drive for Lyft and Uber for the week. So I have to go to San Francisco and I have to drive for, well, all my goals have been vague and unfulfilled as far as driving for Lyft and Uber, and every week is entirely different as far as making money and schedules. It's always completely different. It's very hard for me to stick to routines. My very being is revolts against it always. So it's been up and down a lot as far as the money is concerned. I made $12.50 I think the first week, but that was really busy. It was right around Christmas time, or before Christmas, the week before Christmas. So a lot of people were still in town or traveling or getting gifts, and it was super busy. And then after the Christmas and the New Year, then it got really dead, and it was harder to make money. So money-wise, my weeks went something like, the very first week was like 700, then 1,200, then 900, and this last week was 800, and that's with all a very wide range of how many hours I drove, or how many days of the week I drove, and depending on whether I felt like driving or whether I felt like pulling over and playing on my phone or watching YouTube videos. I'm a very inconsistent individual, but I'm looking to get some consistency back in my life because I have Kimberly and the baby to take care of, and these emotional swings are starting to annoy me. I'm not really used to being buffeted by my emotions, and I know that they're here because of drinking or the lack of drinking. So right now it's because of the lack of drinking, because I've been in AA for the past 16 days, and I've been going to a meeting every single fucking day for the last 16 days as per my sponsor, okay? And I didn't want to do that, and I get tired of going to the meetings. But he said do 90 and 90, and I was having, I was feeling the powerlessness of drinking alcohol. I might be an alcoholic. I haven't admitted it yet, but there's certainly a chance, So I'm going to a meeting a day. I haven't gone to a meeting today, but the day is still young. It's 7:34 p.m. and I have till 12 p.m. But also, it's not set in stone. I can go to 2 meetings tomorrow, or I can go to 5 meetings on whatever day. I just have to do 90 and 90. That's all. That's the rule. And I would like to do that because I've had a very hard time completing things that I start, and Kim has used the term wishy-washy very generously in the past few years, and I've never really wanted to admit to that. But I'm starting to see it now. I'm starting to see it, so I don't really want to be. I know I've been a fence sitter on almost all these issues for a long time. Almost all issues in general. I've had a very relativistic view on everything for a really, 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 really long time. And it's been kind of depressing. Because you can never have, a rip-roaring conversation with somebody if you don't have opinions on anything, right? So after a while, this idea of relativism, it became a little bit obnoxious to me, and it's depressing, right? So I'm kind of moving toward having stances on issues, because you can't be certain about something unless you're taking a stance on it, right? And yeah, so we're coming up on 20 minutes now, and I have no idea if my phone's going to let me upload this video or not. I have no clue. I just know that I wanted to upload a video. I wanted to have it be #1 some way, shape, or form. I know this is rambling, and I know there are not any certain specific topics that I focused on, and the title will probably not even relate to the content, honestly. I might clean that up later, but right now I don't give a shit, honestly. It just doesn't matter, okay? So as far as my personal desire for making this video was I wanted to be honest, because I've carried with me around in the past few years a very distinct sense of like guilty feeling. This feeling of I'm not being true to the way I want to do things, or the way I feel people should do things, or anything at all. I feel like I've been giving in to all the pressures of people around me, and I have not been asserting myself whatsoever. Okay, I understand compromise, and I understand that, you know, you have to both give a little bit, but I've been acting like a little bitch, basically. Yeah, so I would like that to kind of slow down and stop happening as much, because I'm not really like that. I have the capacity to be confident and powerful, right? But yeah, that was my main goal for this video, was to be honest. And you know, being in those fucking AA rooms, those guys are honest. They're honest. It's therapy. Going to sit in an AA meeting is therapy. That's all it is. You know? Because when you're at work, when you're at school, people are always, they have this fucking ulterior motive and you know, vested interest. When you're giving a speech or something on a topic, you have a vested interest in getting a good grade, so you're skewing yourself toward that. So you're honestly not being as honest as you could if you just went up there and talked on the subject. And this is the level of honesty that you get at the AA meetings. There's nothing like it. Like, there is something like it. It's that camp I went to, for volunteering for the kids in Easter Seals Camp Oaks. That's a similar thing. But it's nothing like the regular world, where, you know, the setup world, the roles world. It's nothing like that. It's absolutely different, and that's another reason why I like going to the meetings, is because I can be completely honest, and if I don't want to say anything, then I don't have to say anything. And if I want to say something, I can say absolutely what I think. You know, I don't say absolutely what I think. Even right now, I don't say absolutely what I think. I'm still holding back a little bit. Otherwise, I'd just be drooling and spitting and like crawling to the back seat while the car is still going, or some dumb shit like that. I like to do crazy things, but they're frowned upon, so I don't normally do that. Okay, so now we're coming up on 24 minutes. Really long video. I don't give a shit. I just don't. And I'm not going to rewatch this video, and I'm probably not going to rewatch any of my other videos, because I don't like rewatching stuff I make. So anyway, take care, everyone. This is number 1. I'll see you in number 2. Bye.